Welcome. This is the Enlightenment Show, and I'm your host, Laurie Schoenfeld, aka Winifred here. And we have today joining Reggie O. She's going to be sharing about her business, Wuggins Inc. today, and how creativity brings magic into her life. Hello, Reggie. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
I am thrilled to have you join us today to share your beautiful and amazing pieces. Happy Hallows Eve as well.
Oh, yes. It's the perfect time of year. And I love that we both came to play. We both came dressed up. We both came to have a good time.
Always more play makes life more exciting.
Right? We have to create that magic and that excitement, I think.
How do you play, and what kind of things are wondrous for you during Halloween?
I love decorating, number one. I was like, ooh, how can we make this so fun today? More fun than it would be. But I love decorating for Halloween. Not always, but I got into it actually shortly before I started having kids. And it was fun to create that magic for my neighborhood and to see people walk by and go, oh my goodness, wow, like this is the fun house, right? And so then once I started having kids, just their little faces and how they light up and how excited they get for it. And the practicing, my 4-year-old, he practices with trick-or-treating right now. He'll knock on the door and I have to open the fake door. Trick or treat, so it's fun. It's fun for me to create the atmosphere of Halloween and other fun things. It's just fun.
Mm-hmm. Can you share with our listeners and viewers what your business, Wuggins Inc., is all about?
Oh, goodness. I could talk for probably an hour on that. So shortened version is my business, my jewelry making is all about, of course, still having that fun, creating that magic, because I love to create the fun, whimsical pieces, things that you might see pulled out of a storybook, out of a fantasy book, out of a science fiction book. I'm an avid reader. Or out of a movie, out of a TV show. And I like to envision these things as I watch a movie or read a book, and then I would love to put it into real life. And so that's kind of what I'm about. And it's also creating the one-of-a-kind pieces for people because we're all one of a kind, right? No two people are the same. And so part of that magic is creating one-of-a-kind pieces that are never duplicated. They're similar, but never the same. So,
yeah. We were talking a little bit before the show about how I have been exploring online your pieces, as well as I got the opportunity to see a few Evermore, which was super fun.
Yes.
And it invited this whole essence of finding a costume and play that goes with the piece of jewelry that I found online, which really does bring in that. I love how you mentioned the storybook or the science fiction, that essence of wonder and play.
Yes. And that was the fun part about Evermore too, is that I am able to bring that wonder and play, because that's what Evermore is all about: the wonder, the play, the exploring, the excitement, the creating the story. And so my jewelry just goes along with it. It's fun.
So when did you decide to get started with Wuggins Inc?
Oh, goodness. Okay. So I've always made jewelry. Like since I was a kid growing up in the 90s, we had the hemp stuff, the knotted hemp necklaces and things like that, and friendship bracelets made out of the cross stitching thread and things like that. But 2016-ish, I kind of got more serious about like, okay, I should open up an Etsy shop. People kept telling me, you need to open an Etsy shop. You need to get your stuff out there so people can look at it and purchase. And so 2016, I finally decided, okay, we're going to go for it. So November 2016, actually, I opened my Etsy shop. And of course, things come slowly and they don't go quickly. And I think too many people nowadays, it needs to happen quick, or else it's not going to happen at all. And I was just very patient, and I'd post things every day. So I probably annoyed my friends in my Facebook community or on Instagram and things with that, because it was just a constant, like every day, here's something new, here's something different. And then finally, I also started hounding Evermore itself before they opened, thinking, I know that this product is great for your park and for what you're trying to achieve. And I started hounding them. And it was finally summer of 2020, because they had been open for a couple years. Finally, a summer of 2020, they decided to have a vendor program, and I jumped right on that. So I've been doing it off and on since then, and it's been a whirlwind. It's been fun. I've done run fairs as well, but yeah, that's how we got going.
We have a comment coming in for you today. Hi, Paul Wayne. I love that you're giving Rachel a platform to share her amazing talents. Thank you for being here, Paul. Her pieces are amazing, which I'm super excited to look into some of those today as well, because they're absolutely beautiful. And as you mentioned before, one of a kind, have a different specific flair to each one of them, which I love.
Absolutely. They absolutely do.
Mm-hmm. Where did you get the name Wuggins Inc?
So Wuggins was kind of a nickname I've had since about toddler, 2-3 years old. And it has just stuck with the family. And every once in a while, when they're kind of teasing me in a loving way, they'll be like, oh, Wuggins, and it's such a unique, one of a kind name. Yes, it sounds like Wiggins, and I get called that sometimes too. And that I don't care, because people have said to me, are you sure you want to do this for your business name? It's different. It's weird. So am I, and nobody else is going to have that name. And so I've just stuck with it, Wuggins Inc. And I just, ink on the end just kind of flows with it. I thought Wuggins Boutique, but Wuggins Inc. just goes, it flows, and stuck with the nickname. It's one of a kind. Nobody else has it. And that's how my jewelry is. It's one of a kind, and nobody else will have the pieces anywhere else. But if you get it from me, you'll have it.
Do you remember the first piece that you created?
For my shop, or just in getting going with people?
Just in getting going, to get that creative initiation moving.
You know what? I think I do. I think actually it was a friend of mine it was when I was at KSL Channel 5. I was a sales assistant, and she worked more on the digital side of things, but somehow she and I ended up next together in a cubicle. And she saw what I was kind of creating at home and just kind of having fun with. And she said, I want to commission you to make me a couple of pieces. And I was like, really? She's like, yes, what you created is really beautiful. And so I made her a couple of pieces off of her specifications, what she liked, that kind of stuff. And she still has them to this day. And that was, oh goodness, 2014 probably. So she still has them, and I'm stunned that she still has them. But she kind of was the one to get me going. She really encouraged me. You need to open an Etsy shop. You need to have these things out there. And so after her, there were a couple of more ladies in the office that I created some pieces for. And then people started asking me to alter pieces for them and to fix their nicer stuff from Schmordsnuns. I won't say the name. Schmashis. They asked me to fix some pieces because the expensive stuff can break too. So I decided to bring that into my business model of I will fix things as well. So, thank you, V. That's what I call her. Thank you, V, for getting me started on the professional side of the journey. Yeah.
Thank you, V. And I love that story because it often takes just one person outside of ourselves to see something within us and bring it to our attention to get that momentum move forward.
Absolutely. Yes.
You do fairs and events, as you mentioned before.
Yes.
What is something that you love most about that experience?
Just one thing? Oh, just kidding.
You could do a few.
I'm just kidding. I love and Evermore really brought this out for me. I love seeing people dress up in their costumes, their garb, their I love seeing what people make. I mean, there are cosplayers out there that will come through Evermore or through the Ren fairs. And I'm like, you made this? You made this with your own two hands. Yes, yes, I did. I'm like, wow, it's phenomenal to me that what people can make, says the lady who likes to make jewelry. But, it's fun to see people's different talents and what they can do. And so for me, that seeing what they can do, what they make, what they come dressed up in, ready to play, and then connecting with the people. Like, I felt like we connected really quick, and it was so fun chit-chatting with you at the park. And Paul Wayne, the one who commented, he was another one that came through, and we connected and chit-chatted, and he's an amazing musician. Like, I find out all these fun things about people and their lives. And to me, it's become this journey of, it's all about connection with people and getting to know people and helping each other through our lives, because life isn't easy, right? We create the magic, we create the fun, we create the whimsy, we connect with each other. And that to me is what's the most fun, is having that connection with a person, with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, there is magic in connection.
Yes, very much so.
Can you, Reggie, share for those who are not based in Utah that are viewing from all over in different places, what is Evermore and what is the vibe that you get there?
Evermore is an immersive live, I wouldn't say live. It's immersive live action questing type park. And it has evolved over the years. It's been different things, and I think it will ever be evolving until they decide like what the full on platform will be. Because, some people do like the live action role play. I want to be immersed. And then there's people like me who like to stand back and watch and enjoy it and appreciate it for what it is. So I think it'll always be ever evolving. So at that, in a nutshell, is what it is. And of course, during special seasons like the Halloween season and whatnot, they shut down part of the park and turn it into a haunt. And it goes through their mausoleum. It goes through their burrows area. That's almost like a hobbit hole almost. I can't quite see that. But it's the magic that they create at the park for people to come immerse themselves and play and escape from real life, because real life can be pretty rough, right? So the immersive escape that they create there at the park is just, you can't find it anywhere else in Utah. And I haven't found anything like it anywhere else except for, maybe Disneyland, Disney World, whatnot. So that is what Evermore Park is in a nutshell.
What costumes have you seen coming through your store to buy a piece to complement their outfit?
So many. That's my favorite, is when they come through and they're like, oh my gosh, I have this necklace, but what you have goes better with what I have. And I could go through, again, I could talk for an hour on this subject alone, because again, every item I make is one of a kind, never duplicated. And if I've been doing this since 2016 and selling in person since 2020, there's so many. Some of my favorites have been, I had this really nice glass chess piece that went, it was choker and then went all the way down to the navel. And it was based off something from the Similarion. I'm not saying that right. But it was based off someone's artwork from that. And I took that and I wanted to make it real. And someone bought it to go with a costume of theirs. And I didn't get to see the costume in person. But it was phenomenal to see that put onto somebody with their idea of what they wanted with it. Amazing. I've seen other people come in with some of my the skeleton cameos that I have as well. They're kind of like that. Sorry, not shameless plug.
No, show.
But they come in with this garb that's just immaculate, and they look haunting or otherworldly, and they go right to it and they say, oh my gosh, I need this for my costume. I'm like, yay, what can we do? So I've seen so much. There's so many I could talk about for an hour on that as well, too. Yeah.
We'll have like another episode in 2 so we can get a costume, Reggie.
Yes.
And you can show us how to piece things with your pieces. That would be a lot of fun.
Ooh, don't give me. Oh, we could have so much fun. We could have so much fun.
Next, will you show us? Because I actually really love that piece that you brought up.
Okay.
Show us a few of your pieces.
Okay.
Different things that you have created.
So again, this one, the spider webbing choker that everyone's been seeing on me with the bat with the let's turn that the right way. Bat cameo. It's a really popular item around this time of year with like the spider webbing. It was a design creation of my own. And I do all sorts of pendants, not just cameos. I've done swords. I've done owls. I've done so many things. So yeah, we have fun.
Love the owls. Yes.
Yes. So then here was the one I kind of showed. Skeleton girl in purple with the black backdrop. Little coffins. Let's see. I have a lot of skeleton girls out right now, but this is my cat with my cameo with the crow on top. Words are hard today. Let's see. Here's another skeleton girl with some spiders, but very, very fancy, very immaculate, very.
Oh, sweet. And I love because even just that feel, like that one specifically has more of like this like haunting dainty type feel, but I love that.
You get my vision.
Yeah.
You get my vision. That's what I try to go for. I try to go for a whole motif a lot of times on some of these where it's just, haunting, but fun, right?
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes.
There's a few more I could grab, but I have to go further for those.
Well, we'll even show, this is one that I purchased a few weeks ago from Reggie. It is, I'm going to see if I can bring it in. This way. Okay. So it's a raven. And oh my goodness. Like it goes with anything and everything. I absolutely adore it.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad it found you because, it's fun to see people's faces light up when they find that one piece that they're like, oh, this will go with this or this will go with everything. So I'm glad that you found that one and it just goes.
It could even fit on a blazer at a business.
Yes.
I mean, really, it's fine. And it's really playful.
I love
it. But professional. Or you could just be quirky and I mean, the gold all by itself just speaks so many things too. So
is that the one with the crown on it too on the very top?
Yeah.
It is. I love that one. I love that setting on it. Because like you said, professional but still fun and playful. I love that one.
Yes. Yes. How has creativity brought magic into your life, Reggie?
How has it not? It just to sit down and create something with my hands, either while I'm listening to an audiobook, and not just because of the audiobook I'm listening to, like I said, which a lot of the times I will pull from what I'm reading or listening to, but to sit down and create something to me is magical. And to come up with the ideas on the fly sometimes or to be planning something out for months and then it doesn't go how I want it to while I'm creating, but it goes another direction that isn't bad. That to me is what's so magical and what creates that magic.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes. I love how you brought in, you had a vision and a plan, and sometimes it doesn't go that way, but it has its own whimsical story.
Yes.
Trying to share.
And it still works. Even though it didn't go how I wanted it to, it ended up being more beautiful than I thought. Yeah. So, I mean, yes, I have torn pieces apart before where I'm like, I don't like the direction this is going, but more often than not, and I know this sounds pretentious, but when it starts forming and going a different way that I'm like, oh, this isn't bad. I'm like, okay, we'll leave it. Yeah. So yeah, it just creates itself.
Let's talk about the different types of things that you've created, as you've made, oh my gosh, quite a few amazing things, from hair clips to earrings, chokers. It's not called body armor. You probably have a better way of saying it. It's body jewelry, but
Yeah.
Amazing. Please explain some of these things and the time that you put into them.
Oh, goodness. So I guess here's a testament to, when you have an idea, do it, because it's coming to you for a reason. So back in, let's see, it was probably a year before I was asked to do this. I thought maybe I should be making some body jewelry, whether it's the simple, like goes down the chest and goes around the waist. I should be doing some of that. That's kind of the thing right now. And I didn't do it. And then I was approached by this swimwear company who was up and coming, and they said, we need body jewelry. And we also want you to try doing this rhinestone suit to go over this swimsuit for us to go down New York Fashion Week 2020. And I said, okay. They're like, can you do it? And you know what's interesting is that so often I think many of us are like this, because I'm like this in other aspects of my life still. But in this aspect, you're quick to say, no, I can't do that yet. Like, come back to me when I'm better. But I said, I'm not going to say no to that. Let's give it a go. And if you don't like what I come up with and you don't like what happens, then I hope you can find somebody better in enough time. So they trusted me, and I wouldn't say sewed, but it was me wrapping wire around this rhinestone to make the top and then the bottom, and then be able to detach the bottom for the model to go over the swimsuit. And there was a few snags and a few snafus. We didn't think about having to have the bottoms as a full-on piece, and how it wouldn't go up over hips. Because us women, we all have hips, and you get past a certain point and it won't go up anymore. So then we had to cut it, and I just attached some lobster claws and jump rings so that it was attached in 3 spots on the hips, and we ran with that. So that's been some fun pieces. There's been this, I should have shown the big, huge glass chest piece that I have as well. It's huge. It almost looks like ribs going up. And a detachable skirt for it. I think you might have seen that when you came through the tent as well. I try to have that on display to kind of draw people in with the monkey brain of, ooh, shiny, because that's how I am. And if I'm that way, other people have to be that way too, I think. And so I have that piece, and that one just came about. I was trying to create something elven and beautiful to go over a flowy, elvish type dress. And it came out different than what I wanted on that one. That one did not come out how I wanted, but I love it. It's beautiful and sparkly. So yeah, that's long story in a nutshell as well with that one.
The always say yes. I really appreciate that you bring that in, because, that is definitely a go-to when you get those exciting invitations, that insane imposter syndrome that sits with you first of like, I can't.
Yes.
It's a very real thing.
Yes, it is very much a real thing. You're absolutely 100% right. And even with doing this, I thought to myself, how can I make this work with my 4-year-old, who is so fun and energetic, but he will run in and out. And with my husband's work schedule of, he's gone a lot, and with what he does. And so, and it's that way for most people anyway, but he's gone so much that I thought, well, I'll just make it work. I'll turn on the TV if I have to, down in the basement where no one can hear him, and I'll make it work. So again, my first thought was, how can I make this work? I don't want to have to worry about all these logistics. And was the whole, just say yes and you'll work it out later. So you're absolutely right. Just say yes, work it out later.
Have you noticed, Reggie, that there's a difference between when you create and being a mom and when you don't create and you're a mom?
Sometimes. There are times I need a break from creating, and I need to have that time to just do nothing and to just be. And that's fine. But then there are times, yes, I realize that I'm not making things and I'm not happy. And I think it goes back to that creating that whimsy and that magic each day. And that's become such an important part of my life in helping that go out to everything else, that yes, I can tell when I'm not creating and it's not a good thing. And I can tell when I'm not creating and it's a needed rest. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. The needing rest part too. Mm-hmm. There is definitely always a spot for that. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I do know, like, especially as a mom, it's like, okay, there's rest and then there's rest. And it is nice to have that part away from family and children and whatnot, that part of me that has nothing to do with them. And I'm creating something and I'm doing something and it's feeding my soul. Mm-hmm. And then again, there's times where I just need to step away from that altogether and have a rest completely. So, but then I find myself finding other projects like, oh, now I can clean this and I can organize this. So I get a rest, but I don't.
You're like, learning how to have your brain rest with your body is a whole thing.
It is. It really is.
We're going to take it to the inner child question segment. Are you ready, Reggie?
Yes. Let's do it.
First, a question. What was a candy that you loved as a kid during Halloween that you still enjoy today?
Reese's. Anything Reese's. Especially like Reese's peanut butter cups or like the Reese's minis cups. Yeah, any of that. Yes.
Yes.
Mommy. Hey, bud. He's behind this.
And it's a cool curtain, Reggie. Like, I'm sure he's probably on the other side going, there's like a magic bell. She's over there somewhere.
You want to come over here, you can. Just go around. It's okay.
Reese's is, so I loved Reese's until my second child and I became allergic. My hormones did something weird and I became allergic to nuts.
Oh, no.
But I could have Reese's all before that point until the second pregnancy.
Oh my gosh. So what do you have now then instead? What do you do now instead?
I literally just sniffed the bottle of peanut butter and have almond butter. I do.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
It still feels like if you inhale it, because I can inhale it like by sniffing. Yeah. And be okay. Some people can't do even that.
No.
So I'm like, I'm grateful I get to sniff.
Yeah. No. I love that. Free sniffs. Free sniffs. And there's my 4-year-old. Hey, bud, you want to come say hi?
Hi, buddy. How are you?
This is Darius.
Hello,
Did you lock
Darius.
Dad out? He might have locked Daddy out.
Are you excited for Halloween?
Say yes.
Yes.
Mom, you're talking to a lady with a weird wig today. What's happening?
Do you know that's Winifred Sanderson?
I know Sanderson.
No Sanderson. Yes.
I told him, I was like, I think you locked Daddy out as the problem. That's our house. That's our house for you. Anybody else have the same thing?
Maneuvers. Yeah.
I can't be the only one.
Yeah. Tying into that, are you a trickster, Reggie? And did you do some tricks when you were a teen?
You know, not really. The worst we did, because I lived in Houston for a while, and the worst we did, because you don't want to ever toilet paper someone's house unless you hate them with the humidity, because you will just wake up to it's like it's rained, you know. So the worst we ever really did was chalking. You just go chalk and write on somebody's driveway. You don't write anything bad or anything like that. That was really fun. Because then it's a fun way to wake up and be like, oh, I got chalked and someone came and said hi. Or the most malicious we ever did was penny tapping. And you have to be careful in Texas because certain laws. People will show up on their front doorstep with their shotgun. But what penny tapping is, and I'm probably giving people ideas, is you take a penny and you tape part of it to a window. And then you get a piece of string and tape the other part to the string. And then you go out a few yards, maybe behind a front tree or something. And you just sit there and tap and like move the string. And people will come to their door and be like, what is going on? And the last time we ever did it, this guy, he's like, I know you're out there. And I'm going to get my gun if you don't stop. This is really annoying. And so we stopped after that. And we never did it again. We stuck with chalking. Chalking was fun.
Chalking I'm familiar with, but I have never done penny tapping. And I'm thinking like, I went straight to like the scream mentality in my brain of like having somebody do that at night. And you got that weird like screech.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. That would annoy me. I would be freaking out if someone was doing that on my windows here. So I understand as an adult now, that man saying he was going to shoot us. I get it. I get it now. I mean, I'd probably just yell and scream, but yeah. So yeah. And that way I'm a trickster. I do like to jump out and scare my kids as well every chance I get. Like I'll either wait for my 10-year-old to open up her bedroom door and I'll be crouched down just smiling at her and like the most creepy way possible, or she'll be coming around the corner and I'll jump out and get her. Do the same to my 4-year-old too. It's fun. Keeps them on their toes.
100%. Yes. And it brings more joy and play into your home,
right.
For you.
Yes. Yes. But that's as crazy as I get with the pranking and the tricking. Cause I'm just in that aspect, I'm not creative, and yeah, I keep my creativity elsewhere. Yeah.
What is the oddest food combo that you've liked and tried, or you've just tried?
I have a texture issue. So I actually don't try too many weird things because it does set off my gag reflex and I will just start throwing up or gagging. It's funny. And so I wouldn't say there's been too many weird things I've ever tried that I haven't, or any food combos. Gosh, I mean, I do like me some green olives and some cheeses as a snack, but that's not weird. So yeah, I'm just snooty with my snacks. So yeah, I haven't really tried any weird food combos.
Because that sounds like a fancy Lunchable to me, Reggie, which is right up my alley too.
When we become adults, that becomes our snack is fancy Lunchables, right?
100%, because they're easy to make too. So not a lot of customers, but they look nice. You feel fancy, and they do the job.
Right? And they're delicious. Yes. So that's as crazy as I get, and no weird food mixtures because I just don't do well with that. Sorry.
No, yeah. If my gag reflex, no, you're listening to your body. Just know.
Yes.
That's fine.
There's a bug. Yes.
Before we end today, Reggie, can you share with our listeners and viewers what living a creatively abundant life means to you?
This is a really good question. To me, creatively abundantly living is, I see magic everywhere. And as trite as it sounds, and maybe someone will come at me and say, it sounds privileged, but my life hasn't been easy like many other people's lives, but I choose to look for the joy in the journey and the beauty in the pain. And so I look for that everywhere I go, everything that's going on. You have to. And so I create as often as I can when I can, whether it's jewelry or if I need a mental break, maybe it's collaging or talking to somebody else about their creation, what they're working on. And so that to me is living creatively abundant life.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It has been an absolute delight to play and chat with you today, Reggie.
You as well. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Always. And where can our listeners and viewers find you if they have any questions for you about your business after the show?
Oh, so I can find me on Facebook just under Wuggins Inc. It's the same moniker whether I'm on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok. Any of those, it's all under Wuggins Inc. and it's all squished together, one word. Or you can search me out on Etsy, Wuggins Inc. as well, just all squished together, all one word. You can find me on any of those platforms and get a hold of me.
We'll put the links down below for you to have easy access to connect with Reggie. Thank you so much for joining us live and also for those who will join on the replay. Remember, as you go about the rest of your week, to find the things that are working for you. You are the creator of your own story. What steps will you take next? Thank you, everyone, and find magic tomorrow on Halloween. Thank you, Reggie.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day, guys.